This is going to be interesting. So recently, this is breaking news. Diddy is facing another lawsuit, and this lawsuit is absolutely insane. Shout out to Document Tings over on X. They give a little bit of summary about what's going on, and then we're actually going to get into the official claim. Let's see what's happening here. Breaking news, they say. Sean Diddy Combs has yet another lawsuit. Court documents obtained by Document Tings reveals plaintiff was recognized as one of the premier entertainers in Las Vegas adult entertainment scene in or around 2007. Sean Diddy Combs hired the plaintiff for his services numerous times. And yes, you heard it right. It said his. Hey, yo. Plaintiff commenced his performance, which consisted of dancing and stripping. When the performance concluded, Combs paid the plaintiff $1,500. On these additional engagements through plaintiff's agencies, Combs offered the plaintiff beverages, which plaintiff consumed. Combs also asked the plaintiff to apply baby oil. Hey, yo. We're going to make it through, yo. To the plaintiff's skin during the performances, which the plaintiff did. After applying the baby oil, plaintiff became unusually sleepy, disoriented, confused, exhausted, drowsy, weak, confused, sluggish, numb, and alarmed by the sensation of being trapped in his own body. Y'all know it's alleged that this baby oil actually contained drugs in them, and when applied, seeps into your skin, and you know the rest, right? Oh man. The plaintiff felt a heavy sensation behind his eyes and felt that moving his body became more difficult and exhausting. While the plaintiff was in this disoriented state, Combs instructed him to perform acts that were outside the scope of the agreed upon performance and limitations set by plaintiff and his agency. Combs instructed the plaintiff to engage in acts such as... Y'all can read, and if you can't read, you're not missing out on much. We're going to get into the full document here in a second. While Combs and some woman engaged in intercourse. Plaintiff left in an incapacitated state after applying the baby oil to his skin, found himself mentally and physically unable to resist or express his discomfort, leading to his unwilling compliance with Combs' demands once the intoxicating effects of the substances had subsided. Plaintiff felt a deep sense of humiliation and shame for being coerced into such acts. We're going to get into the full document here. And again, y'all, as I said, it's about to get crazy. Here we go. Yes, this does say John Doe, as I mentioned before. Y'all get ready for it. All right. We've got John Doe versus Sean Diddy Combs. The plaintiff, John Doe, by and through his attorneys, the Bloom firm, brings this action against defendants. Plaintiff alleges upon knowledge concerning his own experience and upon information and belief as to all matters. Here's the preliminary statement. Defendant, we're going to call him Diddy, a prominent entertainment mogul, exploited his power by physically, psychologically, and sexually abusing the plaintiff more than 5 harrowing years? Wait, what? Man, we only got through the first line and I'm confused. So John Doe is saying that Diddy exploited him sexually, physically, and psychologically over more than 5 harrowing years. We'll keep it going. Diddy caused the plaintiff's life to spiral into a living nightmare. Plaintiff was at all relevant times a Las Vegas-based entertainer who aspired to become a musician. I'm going to make it through this, y'all. I'm sorry. Knowing the plaintiff desperately sought a breakthrough in the music industry, Combs enticed the plaintiff with fraudulent promises of a career in the music industry. Combs used his false promises of career advancement as weapons, trapping the plaintiff in a vortex of exploitation and fear. Combs did not follow through with these promises. Instead, Combs subjected plaintiff to relentless pattern of drugging, assaults, death threats, clandestine recording, blackmail, and psychological manipulation that far exceeded any bounds of consent or professionalism. But isn't this the business that he was in? We'll keep going. Combs dehumanized plaintiff and reduced him to a mere object for Combs' own amusement and to satisfy his own fetishes. Diddy gravely exploited the plaintiff, effectively imprisoning him and controlling him through surveillance and filming. Diddy's recordings were not just blatant invasions of the plaintiff's privacy, but he wielded them as tools of blackmail, forcing the plaintiff to continuously comply with his perverse sexual demands. Diddy covertly drugged the plaintiff to strip the plaintiff of his ability to resist his sexual demands. And he kept coming back for more for 5 years. Bad Boy Entertainment, Diddy's production company, facilitated Diddy's calculated abuse and played a significant part in Combs' ruthless scheme to exploit the plaintiff. I swear, if I see Tony Busby's name at the bottom of this complaint, I'm going to lose it. The parties, we know who the parties are. We can skip through this. Jurisdiction and venue. Where did this happen? Jurisdiction, USA 1331. Venue is proper in this court. Okay, got it. Factual allegations. Here we go, y'all. Buckle up. Diddy hired the plaintiff to strip and dance. In or around 2000, and again, let me be clear. I'm not saying because you pick a certain profession that you should be subject to abuse. That is not what I'm saying at all. So let me make that very clear before y'all start going off in the comments about this. All right, let's chill. What you decide to do is what you decide to do. I do not believe that just because you decide to strip and dance that you should be subject to abuse. Let me just get that out. So we got a stripper here. In or around 2007, the plaintiff was recognized as one of the premier entertainers in Las Vegas adult entertainment scene. The plaintiff worked with multiple adult entertainment agencies and received his professional engagements through these agencies. As a popular and frequently sought out entertainer, the plaintiff maintained high professionalism. Both the plaintiff and the clients operated under pseudonyms, such the plaintiff did not know the identity of the person he was meeting until he arrived at the engagement and met the client. Why would you do that? In 2007, we're on the verge of the information age, and you weren't looking into what was going on in 2007? Oh my God. Both the plaintiff and his agencies clearly communicated his boundaries and limitations to his clients at the outset of his engagements. But if you wanted to give an extra tip, maybe the lines got a little bit blurry. I threw that in there. That's not actually in the official complaint. In or around 2007, the plaintiff was booked through one of his agencies to perform a strip show in a hotel room in Las Vegas. In accordance with the standard procedures, the plaintiff did not know who he was meeting until he arrived. On this occasion, the client was Diddy. When the plaintiff arrived, Diddy conducted a full body pat down. Plaintiff commenced his performance, which consisted of dancing and stripping. When the performance concluded, Combs paid the plaintiff $1,500. Okay, that's instant one. All is well. In the following months, Combs booked plaintiff for at least 2 additional engagements in Las Vegas through the plaintiff's agencies, as was the standard procedure. The client's name was not revealed ahead of time, and the plaintiff did not know he would be meeting Diddy until he arrived at the hotel room. Each time, Combs was present in the room with a different woman. On these additional engagements through the plaintiff's agencies, Diddy offered the plaintiff beverages, which the plaintiff consumed. Diddy also asked the plaintiff to apply baby oil to the plaintiff's skin during the performance. So Diddy said, hey, put this on, which the plaintiff did. After applying the baby oil, the plaintiff became unusually sleepy. I'm confused. I'm confused, man. We got to stop here and y'all let me know what's going on here. So are they saying this happened multiple times? Because they say on these additional engagements through the plaintiff's agencies, Combe offered. These are all plural, additional engagements. Combe also asked the plaintiff. So are they saying this happened multiple times? I know I got to keep reading, but why is it phrased this way? On these additional engagements through the plaintiff's agencies, Combe, Diddy offered the plaintiff beverages, which the plaintiff consumed. Right? Diddy also asked the plaintiff to apply baby oil to the plaintiff's skin during the performances, which the plaintiff did. After applying the baby oil, the plaintiff became unusually sleepy, disoriented, confused, exhausted, drowsy, weak, confused, sluggish, numb, and alarmed by the sensation of being trapped in his body. The plaintiff felt a heavy sensation behind his eyes and felt that moving his body became more difficult and exhausting. While the plaintiff was in this disoriented state, Diddy instructed him to perform acts that were outside the scope of the agreed upon performance and limitations by the plaintiff and his agency. Combs instructed the plaintiff to engage in acts such as walking the dog while Diddy and a woman engaged in intercourse. What? Folks, we got another one. So Diddy was having intercourse with the woman, and he's told this guy, I want you to sit over there and take care of yourself. Huh?
Stop the cap.
Plaintiff left in an incapacitated state after applying the baby oil to his skin, found himself mentally and physically unable to resist or express his discomfort, leading to his unwilling compliance with Diddy's demands. Once the intoxicating effects of the substances had subsided, plaintiff felt a deep sense of humiliation and shame for being coerced into such acts. Diddy recruited the plaintiff to work for him directly by promising to launch the plaintiff's music career. On or around the third time that Combs booked the plaintiff through an agency. So what time is this? So this happened So this was the first time. He hired him in 2007 because he was popular. And the first time he arrived, he got patted down. In the following months, he booked 2 additional engagements in Las Vegas. Okay. This is super confusing. So did he put on the baby oil multiple times and this happened multiple times, or did it happen once? Because here they say in the following months, he booked at least 2 additional engagements. And then on these additional engagements, this is what happened. What? So he did it. He, and I quote, felt deep sense of humiliation and shame for being coerced. And then he went back and did it again. Fool me once, I guess. On or around the third time that Diddy booked the plaintiff through an agency, Diddy asked the plaintiff to stop working with his agencies and to work directly for Diddy instead. The plaintiff responded that he was experiencing financial difficulties. Here we go, and could not afford to stop working for the agencies. The plaintiff explained that he earned his livelihood by working for his agencies as an adult entertainer, but that he hoped to become a musical artist. Of course. Listen, if you talk to Jeff Bezos, you got a business idea. If you talk to Commissioner Goodell of the NFL, you've got some ideas that can improve that can improve the NFL? If you talk to Diddy, you want to become a musical artist, right? All right, I'm going to keep reading. Upon learning the plaintiff was an aspiring musician, Combs offered to listen to the plaintiff's music and express a willingness to help him advance his music career. Combs made the statements such as, "I can make you a millionaire overnight. I could change your life in a second. You ready to party?" Diddy specified that he would give the plaintiff $1 million for each song the plaintiff wrote for him. Nice. The plaintiff was excited for what he felt like was a tremendous opportunity. Having direct connection to one of the most prominent and powerful figures in the music industry, who was known to have made ordinary people into stars, felt like an incredible stroke, of luck, and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the plaintiff to achieve his dreams. The plaintiff hoped to impress Diddy and earn the chance to become successful in the music industry. Combs asked the plaintiff for his phone number so that Diddy could contact him directly. The plaintiff gave Diddy his phone number. Diddy fraudulently used the plaintiff's musical aspirations along with intimidation and covert drugging to obtain the plaintiff's compliance with Combs' sexual demands. So hold on a second. So this is one of the worst written claims I've seen. So he worked for Diddy. Let's just get this story straight. So he worked for Diddy. The first time was great. He did what he needed to do. He danced and it was fine. He paid him $1,500. He went on his way. Then in the following month, he booked a couple other engagements. And in both of these it's from what this sounds like, in both of these engagements, he had him put on baby oil. And one time he had one woman, the other time he had another woman. This guy was sitting in the corner. John Doe was sitting in the corner handling business while Diddy was having intercourse with the other woman. And then after all of this, on the third visit, he told Diddy that he wanted to be an artist. And Diddy's like, "Oh, well, you should just come work for me and do what you do for me." What? That's what they're saying happened here. Okay. We'll go to the next part. After the plaintiff provided Diddy with his contact information, Diddy invited him to meet on numerous occasions, offering to listen to his music. Believing that Diddy would review his work, plaintiff accepted these invitations and traveled to meet Diddy in locations including Las Vegas, New York, Los Angeles, and Miami. This is where you get into, you can't do that, man. You can't be flying people all over the place and doing this kind of stuff. Dumb. Maintaining the appearance of professional interest, Diddy purchased airline tickets and hotel accommodations for the plaintiff through his record company, Bad Boy Records. After Diddy began to arrange their meetings directly rather than through the plaintiff's agency, Diddy's behavior shifted in the absence of the agency overseeing the transaction. When the plaintiff arrived to Diddy's locations, which ranged from hotel rooms, various cities, this is so vague. When the plaintiff arrived, so like he's not omnipresent. He can't just arrive at a bunch of locations at once. So what is the timeline here? I got to give Tony Busby some credit. At least, although the timeline is wrong, they had specific dates and this happened, this and happened, this and happened. And other lawsuits and other claims that we've went over had specific dates and times. This makes no sense. When the plaintiff arrived to Combs' locations, which range from hotel rooms in various cities, Diddy's properties in various states, Diddy regularly conducted a full body pat down and confiscated the plaintiff's phone when he arrived. Diddy regularly had a firearm present either on his person or visible in the room. Plaintiff, aware that Diddy had been involved in the shooting and violent altercations in the past, felt deeply fearful of doing anything that could upset or anger Diddy. Diddy reinforced his fraudulent display of professional interest by setting up mobile studios and frequently playing his upcoming music releases for hours on end, showcasing his prominence in the music industry to plaintiff. At nearly every gathering, Diddy issued grandiose promises of career assistance to the plaintiff, boasting of his ability to make people millionaires and change lives overnight. Diddy even suggested that the plaintiff could become his manager and help him run Bad Boy Entertainment. At Diddy's request, the plaintiff brought recordings of his music for Diddy to listen to. However, each time, Diddy quickly shifted the conversation away from the plaintiff's music and directed the plaintiff to perform a strip show. Hey, this is how we got here, man. Do what you do. During the strip shows, there was usually a woman present with Diddy. On some occasions, other men and women were also present. Diddy typically required the plaintiff to get undressed and leave his clothes in another room. Diddy then barricaded the participants inside the room where the strip show would take place by placing furniture and other objects in front of the door. Why would he need to do that? But hey, we'll keep it going. Being physically confined in the room without his phone, false imprisonment, clothes, other belongings, along with Diddy's firearm serving as a visual reminder that he was armed, made the plaintiff feel trapped, fearful, and as though he were not free to leave. But again, the plaintiff accepted these invitations and traveled to meet Diddy locations, including Las Vegas, New York, Los Angeles, Miami. And the plaintiff arrived at Diddy's locations. Okay, we'll keep going. Diddy offered the plaintiff beverages, which the plaintiff sometimes consumed. Diddy routinely asked the plaintiff to apply baby oil to the plaintiff's skin during the strip show. Following the application of the baby oil, the plaintiff became drowsy, lethargic, weak, numb. Although the plaintiff did not connect these effects with the baby oil until years later. That's understandable. Combs frequently pushed the plaintiff to apply more baby oil, saying things like, "You're going to get a little dull. Rub some more baby oil on yourself." If the plaintiff refused to apply the baby oil, Combs became irate. On multiple occasions, Diddy squirted large amounts of baby oil onto the plaintiff's skin, coating his skin so heavily that it dripped off his body. Each time the plaintiff applied the baby oil, he was overcome with the same drowsy, extremely tired sensation. Plaintiff felt his eyes become heavy, and when he looked in the mirror, his eyes appeared droopy. Dang. The overwhelming drowsiness caused him to fall asleep for unknown periods of time. Often he lay down on the couch, alternating between sleeping and waking. Ugh, that's terrible, man. After applying the baby oil, the plaintiff became uncoordinated and confused. Plaintiff stumbled over furniture and objects and got lost when trying to find his way from the bathroom, and even once fell asleep in the bathroom. On one occasion, Diddy asked the plaintiff to record activity with the camera, but the plaintiff was unable to hold the camera straight without swaying his arm. When the plaintiff was in the drowsy and confused state, Diddy directed the plaintiff to handle his business and to engage in the contact with the female present. Y'all think this was Cassie? Let me know. Which included touching the woman on her body and engaging in intercourse with her. On some of these occasions, Diddy placed his hand on we're not reading that on the YouTube, but yeah. We're going to scroll past that one. The plaintiff tried to communicate at the outset of the meeting that the performances were limited to stripping and dancing, and that he was not willing to engage in certain activity. Yet, if the plaintiff refused the beverages that Diddy offered, or hesitated to apply baby oil to his skin, or just said, "I'm not going to come to the meeting," Diddy became enraged, screaming to the plaintiff throwing objects and clenching his fist as if about to strike the plaintiff. On several occasions, plaintiff found his I don't know if I can do this. The plaintiff found his stuff involuntarily at attention, even though he was not aroused. What? As a guy, I can tell you that is a thing. On these occasions, plaintiff noticed that his heart was beating quickly and he felt faint. The plaintiff commented on Plaintiff commented on what he was feeling, and Diddy stated that he had put Viagra in the plaintiff's drink to make the plaintiff able to perform. Diddy produced a bag of light blue pills and showed them to the plaintiff. Diddy forced the plaintiff to consume unknown substances when the plaintiff was sitting or lying down and experiencing the aforementioned effects after applying the baby oil. Diddy frequently placed a pill in the plaintiff's mouth and watched him to ensure he swallowed it. Diddy asked the plaintiff to open his mouth and lift his tongue to ensure he had not hidden the pill. Dang. And after ingesting the pills, the physical and psychological effects that the plaintiff was experiencing intensified such that the plaintiff could not fully control his body. Particularly, the plaintiff's sense of tiredness, confusion, and lack of coordination was compounded with the heightened sense of mellowness, calm, numbness, and indifference. He was high. During most encounters, Combs demanded that the plaintiff engage in certain activity with the woman who was present. This included touching her all over the place and engaging in intercourse. Combs often positioned his face directly between the plaintiffs and the woman to closely monitor to ensure they were doing it. Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. I should have read this first. Often Diddy demanded the plaintiff to I don't even know how to censor this. This is tough. He asked the plaintiff to do some stuff that made the plaintiff feel deeply humiliated and degraded. On one of those occasions, the plaintiff observed that Diddy rubbed the plaintiff's stuff on the woman's body, and then Diddy licked it. I don't think this video is going to do well on YouTube. And we're not done. Occasionally, the plaintiff and or the woman expressed hesitation or appeared visibly uncomfortable with Diddy's demands. At any sign of hesitation or defiance, Diddy became enraged. Diddy screamed and cursed, threw objects at the plaintiff, toppled furniture, and swung his fist at the plaintiff as though to hit the plaintiff. On several occasions, when the plaintiff did not comply with Diddy's demands immediately, Diddy forcibly grabbed the plaintiff by his junk, causing him physical pain, and forced the plaintiff's stuff into the woman's stuff. On some occasions, Combs touched and did stuff to his stuff. Plaintiff encounters with Diddy lasted for extended periods of time, sometimes more than 18 hours of time. Despite the plaintiff informing Diddy that he charged a set hourly rate for stripping engagements, Diddy consistently underplayed. What? So was he working or not? Was he working or not, y'all? Plaintiff's encounters with Diddy lasted for extended periods of time, sometimes more than 18 hours at a time. Despite the plaintiff informing Diddy that he had charged a set hourly rate, this seems to be a mistake. Again, attorneys, this is hella confusing. Despite the plaintiff informing Diddy that he charged a set hourly rate for his stripping engagements, Diddy consistently underpaid the plaintiff. This seems to be a mistake here. I don't know why they would put this, because again, I don't know if this is ever going to go before a jury, but if I hear this part, I'm saying, wait a second. Were you a victim? Were you working? Is it both? You were a victim while you were working. You didn't want to work. You were going to meet him for a business, and then it turned into this, but he was still paying you. Each time Diddy invited the plaintiff to meet under the guise of listening to his music. But if that was the case, then why are we talking about him being paid? Each time Diddy invited the plaintiff to meet under the guise of listening to his music, he instead required the plaintiff to strip and engage in certain acts, subsequently paying the plaintiff a sum of money that was substantially less than the plaintiff's rate. The plaintiff often attempted to set time limits on the meetings and discuss payment, but Diddy disregarded these conversations and made comments such as, "Aren't we friends now?" Yeah, it's really confusing. On more than one occasion, after awakening, the plaintiff discovered that, I can say semen, right? That semen was, that he had been assaulted. Let's just say that. Plaintiff believed that Combs had assaulted him, and Combs was the only other male present on those occasions. On these occasions, Diddy paid the plaintiff a substantially larger sum of money. Oh, God. And I see y'all in the comments. My confusion is that he did all of these things and then he discussed payment. So I'm not justifying the fact that these things happen. My question is to y'all in the comments in the chat is, why are you going to do these things, be uncomfortable, and then be like, oh, how much we gonna pay me? So I know the difference between the two, but it seems that the plaintiff didn't. On more than one occasion after awakening, okay, we're not going through that again. Good God. On these occasions, Diddy paid the plaintiff a substantially large sum of money. Prior to each occasion, the plaintiff met Diddy. The plaintiff believed that he would be able to resist any advances or requests that would arise. But each time, after applying the baby oil to his body, I gotta read this comment. This comment is insane. He didn't do them voluntarily, but he deserved to get paid for his time. Are you serious? That cannot be a serious statement. He didn't do them voluntarily, but he deserved to get paid for his time. Yo, that is the craziest comment I've ever heard. What? Prior to each occasion, the plaintiff met Diddy. The plaintiff believed that he would be able to resist any advances or requests that would arise. But each time after applying the baby oil to his body, the plaintiff found himself unable to summon the mental activity or physical strength to resist Diddy's demands. He said, hey, listen, y'all, I know. I knew it was going to happen. I knew Diddy was going to ask me. And I was just going to tell him no. I was still going to get my money, like they said in the comments. I was still going to get my money. I was going to go and do my job, even though I knew I was putting myself in a volatile situation. But I was going to resist. And when he tried to take it further, although I saw the gun, I saw how irate he got. I knew he locked me in the building. He locked me in the room a couple of times. But listen, next time, I'm going to resist. Baby oil goes on. Ah, man. Well, I tried. There's no argument for this. One time, two times, maybe three times, but multiple times. And then you're still asking to get paid. There's no argument there for me. I don't want to hear the argument. I don't want to hear it. This is willful. Diddy's wrong. The plaintiff's wrong. And he wanted to get paid for it. Yikes. So what was Diddy going to hand him $1,500 and be like, and the plaintiff's like, oh, okay, well, this applies just to the stripping. It doesn't apply to, you know, the other stuff. There's no argument here. It was not until years later that the plaintiff made the connection that Diddy used the baby oil to mentally and physically impair him, with the intention that the plaintiff submit to Diddy's demands. But he knew what was going to happen. He wanted to get his money. He was greedy.